Playhouse 2000 is here.
Yes, sir.
What you guys? Well, Marcus has not left. He's been here the whole time.
You know, I told him he might as well stay because he's actually in the show that opens on Friday. Not that we're, I mean, we can talk about other stuff,
everywhere.
but he's in the show. So
I'm kind of tired.
He is kind of tired. I think.
The Book of Will. It's so great. The show is so good, y'all.
Tell me about it.
Okay,
you are here in it. Sorry.
No, you're
my
good.
part is like this big.
So
Okay.
I'll say this from the
Backstage.
outset. I was extremely fortunate to have a large group of incredibly talented people audition for me. So I was actually able to cast 18 of our local actors in this production.
Wow.
And and there are guys like Marcus, there are a couple others, guys who have led shows on their own, have smaller roles in this. So this is an incredible performance from top to bottom. I mean, everybody is just top notch.
And it's such a good story too.
It is. It really is. And it you know, when you say the premise of the show, okay, so the show is called The Book of Will. And the basic premise of the show is that a couple of years after,
I'm listening.
So a couple of years after Shakespeare died, and you remember, of course, this is the 1600s. This is not the time of copyrights and all that kind of, plagiarism laws and whatnot. So there was no real official copies of his plays. What he would do with his group of actors, which are called the King's Men, is he would actually write out their individual parts and give it to them to learn, but there was no kind of cohesive script. I mean, obviously they had his original scripts. Yeah. But I don't know how much you know.
He didn't write the original scripts though. He just did the sides to prevent the other theaters from stealing his work.
Right. And so he would split it up that way. And any original scripts they had, many of them were destroyed in a fire when the Globe Theater burned down in the late 1500s. So so a lot of that stuff was just lost. And they basically when a very famous iconic actor named Richard Burbage, who was part of the King's Men, he passes away, and he had a lot of that stuff in his head that he just had memorized. And when they realized when he was gone, there was like, how we don't know all of these plays. These plays are going to be lost. They're going to start to be plagiarized. They're going to, because that was already happening. People were going to the shows, literally writing down what they heard, and then performing them elsewhere. But of course, when you do that, things get lost, things get put down wrong.
Bad versions of a lot of the plays.
So there's a lot of bad things that were out there at the time. And so the Kingsmen realized if they didn't take some action to try to actually put together the original stories and scripts, that they were going to be lost to time. And I don't know that many people really realize the extreme cultural impact that Shakespeare's plays have had. Yeah. It's not just the plays. I mean, the plays themselves obviously are still produced worldwide.
They're like, well, that was historic. Well, no, Shakespeare wrote that.
Yeah, exactly. And things, things we think were in the Bible, things just cultural phrases that we use.
Literal words.
Literal words
he invented 1/3 of the words he wrote.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we use those now as just common part of the English language. They are in the dictionary. And he invented those words. And not only that, but his stories have been, have inspired music compositions and visual art, and countless movies and television programs have basically taken his stories and retold them. I mean, his influence cannot be overstated. Yeah. And so
is there any question? Is there still questions about whether or not he wrote everything, or?
I mean, no, not really.
So we've settled that, right?
I think that question comes from two places. One, it's classist. People are like, he didn't have a traditional university education, therefore he couldn't have written them. So I dismiss that argument because I think that's just people wanting to be jerks. Yeah. But the other challenge I think people run into is they misunderstand how authorship works, especially how it worked back then. So to say that Shakespeare himself went in a room and wrote down all of these plays is to misunderstand the process, that this was something he did with the King's Men. Yeah. Right. So to say he was the author in the sense of Harry Potter being written by a particular author, no, he was not. Yeah. But he was the person who guided all of these scripts. He was the person who drove the story. He was the person who wrote most of it in conversation with these actors. Yeah. And so the play is set in a bar, a tavern where they're talking about it. It's set in the print house with this beautiful old...
Judd Vermillion, who is a set and design genius, actually has
winner of the National Award
Award set design winner, has constructed a replica of an original period printing press.
Wow.
That actually works. I mean, it doesn't actually print, but they actually can do all the actions that they would have done to print the page.
Right.
So it's a really cool, realistic moment in the show.
Nice.
So this story is basically, they realized that this was happening to the scripts. They needed to come and bring them together. And so it's a story about how they gathered them from all different places and the different challenges that they faced, trying to get it put together. And then, obviously the creation of Shakespeare's first folio, which is the large collection of which I think there are about 80 in existence still today.
Wow.
The Folger Shakespeare Library has several of them. The British Museum has some.
And now, Playhouse 2000 and the Callow Theater has a facsimile of the original folio, which you can see if you go see the show at the end.
It's in the show,
The facsimile of the folio comes out.
So the 400th anniversary of the folio's publishing was last year, 2023, because it was published in 1623. And so the British Museum put out a very beautiful replica, which is the same shape and size, similar cover as to what it would have originally looked like.
Right.
And we actually attained one of those, purchased one of those, and we have it featured in the show. So
it's gorgeous.
Awesome.
So it's it sounds very very heady, if you will, but Laura Gunderson is such a fantastic writer that she's taken kind of this heady and just really made it real, made it human. It's a love story, it's a comedy, it's a drama. It hits on all the emotional points. You're gonna laugh. If you're like me, you're going to cry, which I do every night, even though I've seen it 100 times. It's Robert Gonzalez and Ira Hargrove, who played the two basic leads, Henry Condell and John Hemmings, were kind of the key Kingsmen who's kind of started the work. These guys play them, and they are absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah. And Ira is a local guy. I mean, he's a local powerhouse. He was in Friday Night Lights for years and years.
He was an actor on Friday Night Lights.
These are really professional.
And it's...
And what's your role in this show, Marcus Goodyear?
Mostly, I move things around backstage.
Marcus helps a lot backstage. Yeah. He does have a small little cameo at the end with a fabulous costume.
I have some poofy pants I get to wear.
I thought you were like... You were part of it, like maybe you were like a
Marcus specifically requested a small role because of everything else he has going on.
Yes.
So I obliged him with that because he is a fabulous actor, could have played anything, but
I needed to focus on my training for the race in January.
Yes. You usually play a dead body though, right?
I have done that. Yes, my favorite part. I came out. I said one line in the dark. I died in the dark. Then the lights come up and I'm dead.
And he's dead.
With my butt to the audience.
Because
that was the best.
I'm always in dad mode with Libby. It's 10:30.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I didn't even know this.
Libby was so into the conversation.
Thank you for supporting the arts in Kerrville.
Yeah.
So important.
I love the arts. I love Kerrville. And I did have my oil changed last Friday.
So.
Good for you.
Good.
Come see Book Will.
You're gonna come back, right?
Is it?
You're coming back, right?
Yeah, at 10.
12:10.
Whatever time that I need to be.
Book of Will. It opens this Friday and goes 2 more weekends.
2 more weekends.
3 weekends total. This
25th.
weekend plus 2 more.
I'm leaving for Massachusetts tomorrow.
We'll be here when you get back.
So
we'll be around when
hopefully.
you get back. So,
Playhouse 2000 though, people, one of the. By the way, yesterday I was trying to tag you guys in something, and Facebook is just makes things so difficult.
Sometimes,
It's just so painful. Anyway, maybe I need to. Maybe I don't follow you guys on. I don't know what it is, but it's some issue.
They might need to follow you.
We do.
We do, yeah. I don't know what it is. Who knows?
knows?
Facebook with their rules. But Playhouse 2000 is the kind of the overarching arm of the Callow Theater.
We are the management
company.
Correct.
But you do other stuff as well. Give us all the details about Playhouse 2000.
I know a lot of people kind of laugh at like, what are you? You're all these different things. It's really not that complicated. So Playhouse 2000 is the company that manages the Callow Performing Arts, or the Kathleen C. Callow City Center for the Performing Arts for the city of Kerrville. So that is actually, it's a city building. The Callow Theater is a city-owned facility. And Playhouse 2000 contracted in 1998 was our first contract with the city when the Callow was being renovated from the municipal auditorium into the beautiful Callow Theater that we have
this
today.
This all predates the current foundation, I believe.
What was her work. What was the auditorium like before it was renovated? It was just like an auditorium?
It was a municipal auditorium, So honestly, what you see when you walk into the Callow Theater, the proscenium, which is basically sort of, the arch that around the stage, from there back is the original municipal auditorium.
Okay.
So the stage is the same, the stage deck, all of that is the original facility.
Right.
And then from the proscenium forward, so all the seating, the lobby, all of that was renovated in the early 2000s.
Okay.
The pit was part of that renovation too.
Yes, the pit as well. All of that was renovated.
Underneath, right?
Yes,
and it's a hydraulic stage that lowers and raises.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So most of the time we have the decking over it, and people we're actually out on top of it.
Okay.
But yeah, it is lowered down, and we do that sometimes for musicals, though honestly the sound isn't as good as when you put the band or the orchestra on stage, which is what we've done the last couple of musicals.
Right. So Brigadoon, they were behind a scrim.
Yeah, they were behind on the stage.
Behind. And then I think during intermission they changed the lights
so you could see where they were. Yeah. So we manage the facility, and then the VK Garage Theater. So the Callow Performing Arts Center is 2 theaters. It has the Callow Theater, which everybody's familiar with, the big one, and then the VK Garage Theater, which is our smaller black box theater. And Playhouse 2000 does performances. We are also our own community theater company. So not only are we managing the facility, we also do our own productions. Most of our performances are in the VK Garage, which is the smaller theater. But for example, our children's musical that just happened this past weekend, Shrek Jr., that was in the big house. We always...
Delightful, by the way.
Delightful. We were so thrilled to have the kids back on stage. It'd been 5 years. We hadn't had a youth theater program since 2019. So it was really amazing to have them back.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the structure. And then everything else that comes in through the Callow Theater, the Symphony of the Hills, the different groups that play there, the different concerts that we have. We are kind of the producing, managing company of those.
Right.
Are there any upcoming concerts?
There are, in fact.
Yes.
So to put the Callow Theater hat on, the next concert in the big hall is on Saturday, August 17th. It's called Analog FM, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Their little tagline is "From Woodstock to Iconic Rock." And it's basically kind of all the classic radio hits of like the 60s, 70s, and 80s. That's the music that I love listening to. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And they're a big tribute band that plays all of these hits, big full band sound. So that's Saturday, August 17th at 7:30, and that's in the big house.
That's a good one, yeah.
And the tickets for that are really affordable. The cheapest tickets are
$15. Yeah, we've tried to keep the price way down so you can still get a great seat for $15.
Dun, dun.
There's our website.
Yeah, look at that.
Callow Performing Arts.
26th year.
You're on the Playhouse 2000 specific page, so you see our shows that are coming up.
Yeah.
Book of Will, Importance of Being Earnest.
The Importance of Being Earnest.
Importance of Being Earnest will be in October in the VK Garage.
And it's Sherlock Carroll.
That play is so much fun. I know people people haven't heard of it because it's a very, very new script. I think it was 2021 that it was published, but it is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun.
Also, Jeffrey sent me a curious email the other day. He didn't think that I wanted your press releases. And so he started sending me the press releases for your big showcase event.
Great.
I'm like, of course I want your press releases, Jeffrey.
Well, good. We'll make sure you get our press releases.
Yeah, I mean, and so this is the Callow Performance
So that's
series?
our play. Yeah, no, that's our season. Yeah, so that's the Callow Performances series, which hasn't yet been updated because we announced that on August, speaking of another event in August, on Sunday, August 18th. At 5 p.m., we have a free to everybody. Yeah, that's the whole event. That's our event calendar that has everything.
Yeah.
On Saturday, August 18th at 5 p.m., you can come into the Callow Theater. No ticket required. It's free. We're going to have some goodies and wine and cheese type thing. And then we're going to be announcing the 6 shows that will be part of the Callow Performances series, which are the big concerts that come to the Callow Theater.
Is that when Jeffrey comes out and sings and dances? Is that what happens?
No, that's usually Dinner with the Stars. That's our fundraiser. Right. Okay. That'll actually be on October 12th this year.
Didn't he do that last year, though? Didn't he come out and do like a little show?
He does
that's Dinner with the Stars.
Dinner with the Stars. That's our fundraiser gala, which actually we've just announced the date for, and our theme is I Love the 80s, and we're going to be doing.
Wear your parachute pants.
We're going to
I never owned parachute pants, by the way. Never did.
No, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Yep. 80s themed gala is going to be a lot of fun. And then the show, I don't know if people know anything about our gala, but it's kind of unique because we have an hour-long musical review show that's part of our fundraiser. And
it's a great night.
It's a lot of fun. And the theme of this year's show, because it's I Love the 80s, are going to be all the songs from the musicals that came out in the 1980s.
Really?
If you don't realize what those were, it was a lot. Cats, Les Mis, Phantom of the Opera.
Phantom of the Opera, right.
I'm trying to think of some others. Anyway, big, huge names. So I think that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, there was like a rebirth of musicals in the 80s.
Yeah.
Evita? Was Evita in the 80s?
Evita, yes. Evita came out in the 80s.
I remember that commercial nonstop. Don't cry for me, Argentina. Yeah.
Were you on Broadway?
No. Well, I mean, when I was, when you grew up in L.A., you got all of the musical stuff that was at the Amundsen Theater or the different theaters in L.A. So I
saw Phantom of the Opera in L.A. for the first time.
Yeah, I remember there was a girl that I was interested in when I was a younger man. She was obsessed with Michael Crawford, and so we had to go stake him out, get his autograph.
Yeah.
After one of the Phantom of the Opera things, I can't remember the girl's name now.
I remember Michael Crawford.
I remember Michael Crawford.
That's the important thing. You remember what matters.
He was very accommodating.
Sure. Yeah.
And I remember seeing. My dad took us to see the Pirates of Penzance.
Gilbert and Sullivan.
Love Gilbert.
I've told you that story before, though. That Barry Bostwick was the star of it, and Pam Dauber.
Yes, I remember you telling me that.
And she was not. It was a matinee, so she did not perform.
You missed her.
We missed her, and that was like crushing because she was on Mork and Mindy at the time. You know.
And everybody had a crush on her.
Everyone had a crush on Pam Dauber. But you know what I didn't realize? I saw a thing the other day for Rodgers and Hammerstein. It's like their 80th anniversary.
Yeah, sounds about right.
This year or next year since their first publications.
I never realized they were married.
I didn't know they were married either. Are they married? Who are they married?
I know it's the 80th anniversary.
Well,
married to each other, right? Rodgers and Hammerstein? No.
He's trying to be, trying to be funny, ladies and gentlemen.
I've been on this show too long.
I know.
I'm starting to go crazy.
The guy that surprised me, though. Wait a minute.
You don't have to agree with me.
I agree with you. I wouldn't be surprised.
Did they do a review performance somewhere?
They do a review performance.
Yeah. I haven't kept up with this.
There's an actor named Patrick Wilson.
Yes, I've heard of
He
the
is
name.
in a ton of movies.
Yeah.
Aquaman, Insidious, The Conjuring. He was in the movie Midway, if you saw that. He is an amazing singer.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Well, there's countless actors that we know from Hollywood got their start on stage.
Yeah, I mean, it's just fascinating though to know. And he's and like, wait a minute, that guy sings too? What the heck? So there's a lot of these guys that are out there, and he made his debut in Miss Saigon.
Oh, okay.
So
I like Miss Saigon.
That's a good one. It's a
Bright Lights, Big City, Carousel, Broadway Theater, in The Full Monty. He's won a Tony. He's been nominated for a Tony Award, but if you saw his picture, you'd probably say, "Oh, that guy's in the movies." And
so
of course,
Rodgers
there's a lot of those.
Just like what's his name? Wolverine.
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman. Yeah. Yeah. I bet you he and Ryan Reynolds could probably do some singing and dancing together, don't you think?
Actually, that would be delightful.
Would be delightful, yeah.
Ryan Reynolds is actually quite a talented
and
musical
Neil Patrick
performer
Harris,
as well.
too. We don't have those guys to me. I mean, Hugh Jackman's one of those guys who can sing and dance. And
he's a triple threat, as we call him.
He's a triple threat and an action star, too.
Yeah.
That's basically the dancing part.
The dancing part, yes. Can you dance?
Actually, he can.
Can you dance? Really? Interesting. Hey there, how are you? What are you doing over there? You're on next, aren't you? For Hill Country Charity. Okay. What's the one thing you really would love to do at the theater? What would be your dream as well?
That's
For
a good
me
question.
personally?
Oh, by the way, I got another show for you to watch too, by the way.
Oh, yeah? What was that?
It's a little series of, there's like 3 movies. I think it's about Agatha Christie.
Oh, okay. Is it on BritBox?
I
don't have BritBox.
It's a BritBox. No,
Yeah.
actually, I think it's a Masterpiece Theater, to tell you the truth.
Okay,
So
I do have
PBS.
PBS because
it's
I'm
PBS
a member of
Masterpiece
PBS.
Theater. Yeah,
All right, I'll look for it.
Support your public radio and public
It's
TV.
one where she disappears. her disappearance.
Oh, okay.
And
So it's about Agatha Christie herself.
Yeah, it's about and then when she meets the husband, her second husband in Iraq or whatever it is that she meets him at, and then the third one is when she's having financial troubles before the war. And
I'll have to look for these.
Yes, I'm trying to remember. Oh, anyway.
The reason we're talking about this is because every other year Playhouse 2000 does an Agatha Christie show directed by
I will, and we will be doing one next year. I'm not going to tell you the title yet because that's not official public knowledge, but we are going to be doing another Agatha Christie next year, so look forward to that. The one thing I don't know, I mean, I definitely have roles that I would like to play, but as far as pieces that I would like to see us do, I think we're actually going to do one next year, but again, I can't tell you yet.
I mean, we've been talking about Sweat.
Well, yeah, there's an incredible play by Lynn Nottage called Sweat that is that I would really love to do, but it has some casting complications.
We would have to make sure we had the actors for it.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's still an unfortunate lack of actors of color in this area.
Yeah.
And some of the most incredible newer plays, really require that.
Yeah.
And there's definitely pieces I would like to do. So if anybody's out there who always thought they'd like to try some acting,
right, exactly.
Come on down. We'd love to see you.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, there's actually several shows like that.
I said Sweat.
I mean, as far as acting, I don't know. I can tell you what I would like to be in. I would absolutely love to do, and most people like, oh really? Is a production of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf?
Okay.
Because I'd very much like to play Martha. I'm getting to the correct age. She, mid 50s, so I'm a couple years shy of that. But that's definitely on a bucket list.
Right.
We've also talked about 6 Degrees of Separation.
Yeah, that's another play that a lot of
plays
people
a little
don't
hard,
know. It is a little hard,
but it's so great.
It's a little hard.
Interesting.
I mean, if we had like incredible, and we do have a lot of really good voices in this area, but if I had like choice of all of that, I would absolutely love to produce Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yes. If we could get the churches to partner with us on Jesus Christ Superstar, I think we could get the talent.
I was amazed though about how like when Brigadoon was here, how many talented singers were.
Oh yeah,
that
was a beautiful show.
We've got a lot of talent, and I've got 18 of those people on the stage. In fact, Robert Gonzalez, who played the male lead in Brigadoon, is one of my leads.
Terrific.
Just incredible,
Starting this
actor.
Friday, Book of Will.
Yeah, opens Friday, VK Grudge Theater. 7:30.
How can we help the Playhouse 2000? How can we help them thrive? What do we need?
Well, I mean, obviously the big thing is just come see shows.
Yeah.
I mean,
we need patrons.
We need people to come back to the theater. I mean, it's happening. Obviously COVID was a very hard hit on live performing arts.
Right.
It was the hardest hit industry in the country.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we're climbing out of it. By the brilliant leadership of Jeffrey Brown and the grants and things that we were able to get, we were able to keep going, keep our doors open, keep producing shows, and we're climbing out of that. People are coming back slowly to the theater. We need people to come back. We need you to find something in our Cala Theater season, in our Playhouse 2000 season that appeals to you. Come back to the theater. Yeah. We're always looking for membership. There's a lot of perks to being a member. You can be a member on our list for as little as $5.
That's great.
And then, the higher you go, you get tickets free and all that kind of fun stuff. So, we're always encouraging memberships. We love corporate sponsors for different shows, different events. You get your name on the event. And, we've got a lot of, Ken Stopel's been a great supporter, Century 21, The Hills Realty. We've had some great corporate sponsors, but we'd love to get more people on board for that kind of thing. So, and then obviously just volunteers.
Right.
Come audition for a show. If that's not your thing, but you'd love to try working backstage, we'd love to have you. If you sew, if you can wield a hammer and nail and there's so many different aspects to theater production that are not just performing on the stage. And there's wonderful ways to volunteer as well. So you can shoot me an email and say, hey, I'd love to get on board, and we'll get you set up.
I love the one, the Live Dead and the Brothers.
Oh,
the
man.
Brothers and the Dead.
So that's an outside group that's bringing in this concert, but we're excited to have them. Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's a Grateful Dead and Allman Brothers tribute.
Love it.
And that's in September. So that's going to be a lot of fun too. And they're also bringing, that same group is bringing a Motown concert that's actually selling pretty well, called The Magic of Motown. We've got a video on our website. If you go to that event, there's a video and you can see these guys are good. They're going to be fun.
Yeah, they are really
and so
good.
that's another thing that we do as part of managing the Callow Theater is these are outside producing groups bringing in traveling shows.
Wow.
And we help produce those as well. So that's kind of another one of our functions.
All right.
So.
You know what's shocking the other day, Marcus, was that Lindsay Tognetti thought that this was a Google image, but I didn't take that shot. Can you believe that?
Well,
It's a beautiful shot.
It's just so beautiful. They
I didn't even
can't
have
believe
to.
it.
Prettiest place on earth.
All I did was just aim my camera up and turn the remote on and click. So, and that's what I got. So there you go. Playhouse 2000. Thanks for being here.
Always.
Appreciate it
We'll be
very
back.
much.
Come to the
All right.
theater.
All
You're